Hey there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brian. Today I'd like to talk with you about side projects, about experimentation, and gouache painting. One of the things that we can do as creative individuals is to try new materials, try new things out, and this can help us to stay fresh creatively. This painting is one in a series of 6 images that I'm calling Gus. That's just the character's name, and frankly, I'm trying not to overthink things this time. My goal for these illustrations is to create and show a short, wordless story. And I wanted the story to have a little surprise and a sense of wonder or magic in it. As creative individuals, we often thrive while learning or challenging ourselves. And if you're like me, you can get a little bored doing the same things over and over again. Now, don't get me wrong, there can be a real sense of delight in really honing in on a theme or a technique. I love that as well. But for me, I need to push out and try things to keep myself interested. And that's where side projects can really come in handy. A good way to begin a side project is to become curious about something, anything, so long as it's related to your creative efforts. And I like to call these things your creative curiosity. Now, there's tons of ways to become curious and tons of things to be curious about. I'm sure you can think of plenty. Let me know in the comment section below, what are some of your creative curiosities? One way to make a creative curiosity is to look at our own work and target any areas that we would like to become better at, stronger at. In this case, I wanted to become better at painting with gouache and to be a better visual storyteller. Now, once you have your creative curiosity, the next thing you want to do is start small and make a lot of iterations. In my case, I had a small sketchbook where I created 20 or 30 short story ideas over the course of a few weeks. Because this is an experiment, there's no real time limit. Just being curious and staying curious is the goal. Next, you'll want to set up some basic short-term steps that you can take to help you proceed. In the case of this project, I went through a few rounds of very rough thumbnails, and I mean rough thumbnails, trying different points of view, different storytelling moments, and things like that. Once things were moving in a good direction, I drew the story beats directly onto these smaller illustration boards. I refined the drawings a little bit, but not too much. As I mentioned earlier, you'll want to start small with your creative curiosities. As tempting as it may be to create a big project or a big painting or something like that, we want to move through many small iterations of our curiosities. Now, this brings me to some scary words. That's judgment, and failure. While creating your work, it may be tempting to get all judgy about how things are going, or if the work is any good, or maybe, is it the best thing since the invention of the wheel? And here I am speaking from my own experience, by the way. I find that when I get this way, I have to remind myself that while having a critical facility is essential, there will be time at the end of the project to assess the work, but not at the beginning. This early judgment or unrealistic expectations can tank any fledgling efforts. So, yes, but not now is my message to that inner judge. And that brings us around to another terrible bugaboo, failure. So maybe you've heard the expression to fail faster. And the idea here is that by moving through many iterations, we can develop a new skill or project a little bit more quickly. And while there is a kernel of truth to this saying, it is vital that we make it clear that our intention is not to fail at all, but our intention is to simply try something new or to progress in some way. But by that same token, we may very well fail, and that's okay. The whole thing is rather childlike. You're trying things, you're just playing around, learning, adapting, growing. And so finally, after you have either made or not made a new piece of work, then try your experiment again and again, and maybe even again. Each time modifying areas that needed improvement and building on what was successful for you. Our creative curiosities, our experiments, our side projects are all great ways to improve, to stay creatively fresh, and who knows, we may discover something new about our work or even ourselves. So I'd like to hear from you in the comment section below. What are your questions? Do you have any side hustles that you'd like to share? I'd love to hear about them. So if you've enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. And better yet, share it with someone that you know. Share it with a friend. Word of mouth is the best way for creative works to get noticed. Thank you for your time and attention.